Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? I'm here. I'm in the building. What's going on, everybody? Welcome one more time to the one and only. This is the big time show that is being seen and heard everywhere, particularly on the Empire Sports Network page. It is being seen live on Podbean as well. It is being seen and heard on Podbean, the Big Time Show Facebook page, the Big Time Show YouTube page, Twitch, everywhere where I am. So, welcome to the show, everybody. Hope that you guys would do me a favor and share with as many people as you can. I don't know why my stuff is once again messing with me. So I need your help. If you don't mind, would you go ahead and share? It would be nice if you would share whatever it is that we're saying right now. Cannot get this. Let's see what else is going on here. You ought to be relaxed, Cowboy fans. Let me just start it off that way. I am. You know, I mean, we're 6-2. We are on a bye week. Let's get this straight. Nobody thought that we would be, 6-2. Going into the bye week. It's unbelievable to where we are right now at this point in time. So I hope that you guys would understand what's going on. We are legitimately a real problem for some teams. I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to be nice about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be nice about it. We are pretty good football team heading into the bye week. A lot of people didn't expect it, as I said. A lot of people are shocked. A lot of people got a problem with it, particularly the Cowboy haters, and there are plenty of them. I'm quite sure you have many on your timeline, like I have. I'm quite sure you do. I'm quite sure you're loaded with the problem of the Cowboy nation and haters showing their disdain. You know how they show it, don't you? You know how they show it, right? They say it by, well, it's amazing to me how before we play a team, they're good or they pose a problem. But as soon as we beat them, oh, y'all didn't play nobody. Y'all didn't. Yeah, I mean, what we got to do? I mean, what do we have to do? The goalposts move probably right after halftime. Once they see their quarterback in trouble, getting hit nonstop, all the pressure, can't handle the pressure. Then all of a sudden, we ain't no good, or the team that we just played ain't no good. I mean, it's amazing. It's just amazing to me. But it make no difference whether the people think we good or not. We winning. You know what I'm saying? We taking care of business. We doing what we're supposed to do. Yes, we are. And I'm not mad about it. Let me say hello to everybody who's here so far. What's up, Joe? I see you. It's Charles. I see you. Key. What's up? My brother. What's up, man? What's going on? Quick thing. The title of the show today is Bi-Week Thoughts. Of course, these are my bi-week thoughts. What I think. What's up, Mike? I see you. What I think is yeah. You told me, Miss Charles. If I remember right, Miss Charles, you're absolutely right. You told me that I should have listened to you because you were dead on target. No doubt about it. Uh, well, I didn't expect it to be as high scoring as it was. Um, I thought that we would do better on defense, which is some of the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today. I'm just excited that we won the game. The way I look at it is with the Eagles winning, and when you look at their schedule, we need to stay as close as possible. So I don't care if we win by 1 point. I don't care if we win by 2 points. I don't care. I don't care how we win. I just win. That's we need to stack the wins. Because if you're not going to win your division, then you obviously have to put yourself in the best position um, as a wild card, actually. Keep in mind, everybody, that there's only one bye week for the end of the playoffs. The top team gets the bye. Everybody else have to play that weekend. Now, just because you are a division winner does not necessarily mean that you have where you will have a home playoff game. But in this case, I don't know. You know, when you win your division, you get a home playoff game. But let's just say that let's say the NFC South, somebody's gonna win their division. But my question is, will they have the same record as the Cow? I mean, a better record than the Cowboys? Um, for people still believe that Tampa's going to eventually end up winning it. Okay, they may win it, but if they have 5 or 6 wins, I mean 5 or 6 losses, and the Cowboys only have 3 to 4, then some people are going to be asking the question, okay, where's the playoff game going to be at? It's going to be in the division champion house. So that's why I was saying we need to stay as, I don't care if we're 11, 12 and 4, 12 and 5. If you win your division, you automatically get a home playoff game. So, that's why I was saying that we need to stay as close as we can to Philly because we just have to do that. And of course, we start getting into the seedings. Your 4 division winners are there, and then the best you could be probably is a 5th seed, which means that you would avoid. I don't know who you're gonna avoid, but it ain't no hiding spot in the playoffs. So we just need to win, and that's what we have done for these first few weeks of the season. I call it the first half of the season. We've done our job. Who would have thought that Cooper Rush would have done what he did? And that was pretty much just maintain, didn't make mistakes, uh, kept the team together, played excellent football as a game manager, was not explosive, was not MVP like. He just did what he had to do to win. He made big throws when it was time to, and we leaned heavily on the defense. That's what we did. Dak went out after the first game. Pretty much everybody had wrote us off. Everybody, many Cowboy fans wrote us off. But because of the defense stepping up like crazy, and of course Cooper Rush maintaining The offense doing just enough uh, to keep the ship going. We won. But really, as I talk, was it really Cooper Rush? Or was it because it forced Kellen Moore to do what we've been asking for the last God knows how many years now? And that is run the football. That's what we asked. That's what we've been asking for. We pretty much, if you're a Cowboy fan and you know and have any knowledge about football, you already know that the best way for us to be effective completely is for us to get the ball and put it in the hands of the best players. So then the question becomes obviously, who are the best players on this team? Offensively, that is. Well, it's not CD Lamb. It's not Michael Gallup, who just now coming back. It's not Dalton Schultz. And it's not Dak Prescott. I know he getting paid a whole lot of money, but it's not Dak Prescott. The two weapons that are the best players offensively, other than maybe a couple of offensive linemen, if you want to name it. If you want to name Zach Martin your best player, I'm not going to argue with you on that. I'm not going to argue with you at all. At all. I think that he deserves consideration. If you want to say who's the best offensive player, then you can't argue with that. I don't know why this person is here, but anyway, um, you have to understand what your personnel is. So if you want to give it to him, I'm good with it. I ain't got no problem. Zach Martin, of course, is a Hall of Fame type dude. Will be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Should be a first ballot guy. I don't have no problem with it. It is what it is. So now, if it's not Zach Martin, then who is it? The two best players is your running backs, Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard. There was an effort by Kellen Moore to give these guys the football and let's just play running offense and let's play real solid and in our case lights out defense. And look where it got us. It can't be denied. We were other than the Philly game, we pretty much handled business. No doubt about that. And so it's because of that first half of football, particularly those 4 to 5 games, the month that Dak was out, and the upper level elite type defense that was played, and the game management of Cooper Rush, but most importantly, the philosophy change of Kellen Moore is the reason why we're 6-2 heading to the bye week. Now, I find this strange, y'all. What's up, Spoonie? I find this strange because last season, at this particular time, we were 6-2. We actually did the only difference were two major differences between last year and this year. Last year it was Dak. This year, give it to Cooper Rush. That's a huge difference. There's a huge difference there. Huge difference in talent, and I think that we put to bed the crazy problem, quote unquote problem that we had by saying that Cooper Rush was supposed to be the starting quarterback over Dak Prescott. I think Dak quickly put that to bed real quick. And if you don't believe it by now, I don't know what TV you've been watching, but it is what it is. So that's the difference between last year and this year. And although our defense was turning the ball over last year all year long, they were not as good as they are collectively as they are now. So that's the two differences. But however way you look at it, we were 6-2 last year. We're 6-2 this year. So it is a mirror to me, just from my eyes. It's a mirror image of last season. It really is. 6-2 last year. We ran the ball down people's throat, carried us to 6-2. This year, we're running the ball down people's throat, 6-2 this year. I mean, it's the same thing. It's the exact same formula. And today's show is pretty much about speculation, if you ask me, because my question is, can we maintain, a lot of things? Can we maintain this intensity? Can we maintain this style of play offensively? The defense, Chicago, although we beat them handedly, they did score, and they scored a lot. But at the same time, it's kind of disguised because not too many teams gonna have quarterbacks like Justin Fields. Uh, I did notice this, which will have problems for us later on defensively. We have a problem with a mobile quarterback. All them good stats that we had before, they go out the window when we play a mobile quarterback. It's just it really, I mean, but there's not a lot of teams that have them. But when we do have them, we have a real issue with some of these guys, like Justin Fields is a problem for us. Josh Allen would be a problem for us. Lamar Jackson obviously would be a problem for us. Daniel Jones, actually, he didn't do it much, but he scorched us on a couple occasions. We have a problem. We don't have a problem with a drop back passer. A drop back passer is tailor made for our defense. We will destroy a drop back, a quarterback like Brady, just drop back, all this kind of, that they don't stand a chance. Golf, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, pocket quarterbacks. They're gonna get, we're gonna handle our business there. But it's these mobile quarterbacks, and I say that because we all know what Jalen Hurts is. So we've had we had enough practice. We'll play Washington and Daniel Jones again. Heineke, as long as he's the quarterback, he can move around a little bit, but he's not featured as a running back, but he can pull it down and run it. Daniel Jones obviously can run it and have no problem with pulling the ball down. So these are things that's going to come back later on down the road. That's where we really have to tighten it up real quick, because we don't do well against. We don't do. We're opportunistic type defense when we play those guys. Kind of like when LVE stripped the running back, on the fumble, and Parsons scored a touchdown. That's opportunistic type defense, where you get a turnover here and there, and you turn it over, and it can turn it to a touchdown. Instead of being up 7, now you're up 14. Now you can, you got 14 points. You almost put the team in position where they have to throw the ball, which is what we want. But as long as the game is close, guys like Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones at times, those guys can get us. So that's later on down a road. That's on down the road when we get to that. But the defense obviously has been the juggernaut of this team. It has been they just get after it. The quarterback is in trouble, and we're sacking the mobile quarterbacks as well. We just not getting them like we got Golf and Burrow and all that kind of stuff, but we still getting our hands on them. We still hitting them. We're just not getting them down like we got golf now. That's because it's just a different style. Uh, so the defense, far as the bye week goes, I think everybody is pleased with the defense. I really like it. Um, Tristan Hill got released. Um, it just it's a lot of competition there. Some of y'all upset because Tristan Hill got cut, and of course got claimed in waivers by I believe it's Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. Um, you know, I like Tristan Hill, but uh, Tristan Hill could not stop the run because he's very agile, but he's light compared to guards and centers. Uh, we couldn't plug up the middle at all. Gallimore is pretty good, has a good year. Bohanna, and then of course we just got Hankins, who played very well for his first game. I don't know if you guys seen all 22 yet, but he's gonna be hard to move. That's what we need, because let's be honest, y'all, we're not good against the run. We're not. We're not. We haven't we haven't stopped the run yet. Not the way that, or at least that I think we ought to do it. We have not stopped the run yet. We hadn't even got close to doing it. And that's why they made the trade to go get Hankins. We need a big body there between him and Bohanna and Gallimore. Those are huge men. If they can't plug it up, we just, we got to go back to the drawing board. Other than that, kudos. I know some of y'all don't like LVE, but when you look at what LVE has done this year, he's been very solid. I'm just calling like it is. I've been wanting to go off on him myself, but he's been very solid. He's made plays. He has done what he's supposed to do. He could do it better. Obviously, some things he could do better, but he has made plays. It seems to me he's around the ball a whole lot. He's done. And I'm coming back to LVE in just a second. Barr was a good signing for us because it put Michael Parsons on the line, and we all know the danger that Michael Parsons is when he's on the lining up on the line to go rush the quarterback. That's what Barr brings. But Barr's made a few plays. He's hurt now. Don't think that he's going to be back for a few more weeks. It opens the door now for our guy, Damone Clark, who played almost 40 snaps in his first game. Ain't played ball in a long period of time. He was clocked this year as being the fastest linebacker to play this year. Ran over 22 miles an hour. That's faster than Michael Parsons. So y'all just imagine that this kid is faster than well, at least on the field, at least for that period of time, that he was able to be even faster than Michael Parsons. So we're talking about a speed guy who can hit, who made plays, did not get burnt at all in his first time. So I believe that we need to incorporate him into this formula that we got, especially since Barr is hurt. And I think that we even become even faster. I believe that he can he can flat out knock you out. I'm not saying that Barr couldn't. I'm just saying this kid is hungry. This kid wants to make an impact, and I believe that we need to incorporate him. Backside. Injury bug showed up for us, especially in the last game. Hooker did not play. Donovan Wilson, who always gets hurt as well. Hooker, stays hurt, but according to what Coach McCarthy said earlier, Coach McCarthy said, of course, that all these guys should be back for Green Bay next week. So that's only a benefit. One thing that if you guys notice in the during the season, whenever Donovan Wilson, Curse, and Hooker were on the field together, we at one point in time, you guys really look at it, there was a lot of guys, times that we had Hooker, Curse, and Hooker, Curse, and Donovan Wilson out there at the same time. That's putting playmakers out there, and they made plays. And that's very dangerous because Curse can go in the box if he has to. Donovan Wilson can go in the box if he have to. Hooker stays out. Hooker has great range. He never lost that. And these guys, if they're on the field together, that's incredibly dangerous. So the sky's the limit. I'm getting, without going to everybody, we already know our defensive line was awesome. D-Law and Armstrong and Parsons. We already know that. That's only gonna get better. I mean, you can't guard all this. So the defense is gonna be in the top tier of the league this whole year, barring injuries and all that kind of stuff. I mean, barring injuries, they're gonna be up there. It's no question in my mind about that. And defense travels. So I don't care where we play. I don't care who we play. This defense gonna get to you sooner or later. It's no question. It's gonna happen. So I'm not worried about that. Offensively, I'm going to a point, y'all. I got 2 points really, and then I'm gonna be done. Offensively, a lot of y'all were upset that we did not get Brandon Cooks. And a lot of y'all blame Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. But if you get past just the name and Brandon Cooks getting 1,000 yards and all that kind of stuff, you will notice that if you would have traded for Brandon Cooks, his contract for next season was fully guaranteed. What was that number? $18 million. If that would have been the case, y'all, we should have just kept Amari Cooper. I mean, it was fully guaranteed, y'all. That you when you trade, you pick up the contract of the player. It's not up to you might be able to go to him and say, hey, can we don't want to restructure, but it's up to the player to say no. That contract was signed, and he don't have to restructure anything. So I don't think I applauded Jerry and Steven myself for not doing the trade because we should have kept Amari Cooper. If you're gonna pay Brandon Cooks $18 million, we should have kept Cooper. So I didn't have no problem with it. Now, would it could it have been more dangerous to have Brandon Cooks and CD and Gallup? Yeah, that's a nice threesome, no doubt about it. But is there really a gigantic gap between CD Lamb, Michael Gallup, and let's just say Noah Brown, who will be back soon? Is there really I do admit that, having Cooks there would have made it better, but is there really a huge gap? And on that note, is there really a huge gap between those potential 3 with Cooks there, and James Washington is coming back. So James will come back as our 3rd receiver. And we all, if you know anything about James Washington, you know that he's fast as lightning. So that's another speedster that we'll have. So is there really a huge difference there? So although the Cowboys may have tried it, they couldn't get it done. But I don't have no problem with them not sacrificing. I mean, I didn't have no problem with it. A lot of you may have had a problem with it. I didn't have no problem with it. Uh, that was the big news. That's what we were trying to get to. Obviously, I think everybody knows we were trying to get Brandon Cook. We didn't get him, but we're all right. We're 6-2 before Brandon Cook. Hello. We're 6-2 with Noah Brown and backup quarterback. We're 6-2. Okay, we're 6-2 without Brandon Cook. We're just fine. Michael Evans, you're already ahead of me. I was just coming there. I'll just put it like that. Let me put his comment up because I was just about to come there. Here's a surprise of our offense right here. Dalton Schultz has not been right. His knee is just now coming together. He's so glad Dak Prescott is back because he finally put some numbers up because Cooper Rush wasn't hitting them at all. The Dak Prescott, I mean, Dalton Schultz may probably lead every game in reception for us because Dak loves throwing to the tight end. He just does. It's safe. It's easy for him. That's really his game, to be honest with you. Dalton Schultz may end up with 100 catches before this thing all over with. For real. But that's what he does. So I would not be surprised if it turns out to be that way. However, the surprise is how well Jake Ferguson and Mr. Hendershot have been as well. It has opened up. Let's throw in McKeon as well in there. This is outstanding. All of them are blocking well, and they can catch the football. So when you got 3 tight ends, you don't know what the play call gonna be. Yeah, look, it looked like a run, but because these guys can get out there and run routes and can catch the football, you don't know what's going on. So that has been, and kudos again, and tip your hat to Kellen Moore for recognizing the best. Sometimes it ain't good to line up with 3 receivers. Sometimes it's just good to line up with 3 tight ends and move the ball. It's just that simple. It really is. Sometimes it's best just to do that rather than trying to line up and spread everybody out. This is the mistake that he made last year. He got too happy with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Gallup, and he forgot about the running game. This is what I'm looking for when we get back in the swing of things, and Green Bay first on the list. Are we gonna maintain what got us to 6-2 so far this year? That's my question. I tip my hat to Kellen Moore, but y'all know me by now. You know I don't trust him. You know I don't trust him. You know I don't. I just believe he's borderline pass happy. And I just believe that eventually he's gonna crank this thing right back up. All right. The major other thing that we have to talk about in the first half is Tony Pollard, Ezekiel. My opinion. Is Tony Pollard better than Ezekiel Elliott? In some areas, yes. Is he a better overall running back than Ezekiel Elliott? My opinion, no. Is he more explosive than Ezekiel Elliott? Easily. And the eye test says that when he gets in the game, things just began to happen. Little 2-yard runs that Ezekiel Elliott get, Pollard getting 5 to 6. And you just can't say it's outside because Pollard runs in between the tackles as well. And he just, at this point in Ezekiel Elliott's career, he cannot do what Tony Pollard can do. For instance, that last touchdown that Pollard had, He ended up on the sideline of scoring. If you remember, um, he had to dodge two men that was in the backfield right then. Then he broke a tackle. Then he went on to the house with it. Trust me, if Ezekiel Elliott would have been in that game, he would got stopped in the backfield because he's just not quick or shifty enough to get it done. I mean, to get it done like Tony Pollard can. Uh, Tony Pollard allows Dak Prescott to run somewhat of a fast break offense because of the positive yardage that he gets. Ziggy Elliott in the game is a body blow type offense. Both of them are effective, but it just depends on what you're trying to do. Ziggy Elliott is not breaking no consistently. He's not breaking no gigantic runs. Ezekiel Elliott can get you 3 to 4 yards of pop, and everybody say, "Well, he can, he can just bust you up and all that kind of stuff, and make it a grinded out football game." Well, yeah, you can, and that works because you can't argue with it because Ezekiel Elliott is a reason why we are 6-2 as well. But it does make a difference. Everybody see this. It does make a difference when quality is in the game. It's just too obvious. It's too obvious. It's too obvious. Uh, you don't have to change the playbook for Pollard. He run everything that's in the playbook. No question about it. And Pollard has since he's an unrestricted free agent, Pollard is essentially trying out for another team. To be honest with you, because he's never had the big contract, and you don't know how many years you got left in the league. Tony Pollard, one of his major attributes is speed. As you get older, your speed leaves you. Tony Pollard's speed leaves him. He's just gonna be another guy. That's what makes him unique. And so when you got the chance to make a big difference in your contract status, you're gonna take advantage of it. What am I saying? I don't think he'll be here next year. Some team is going to give him some money. And I believe that Tony Pollard is going to take the money and run. And you can't blame him. You can't. You can't. You can't blame him for that. Dallas is not going to do that because we're going to be in this dilemma with Zeke. And they're going to be saying, well, we can find another speed back in the draft. We got Malik Davis. He's fast. He runs the ball incredibly hard. He can do that too. Pollard is a different. And so I believe you say who's more expendable in the Cowboys' mind, they believe that Tony Pollard is more expendable than Ezekiel Elliott. And so since we know that, you've heard a little glimpse of that from Jerry Jones, immediately saying that Zeke is our number one back, and as soon as he's ready, he gonna go back in. That's what you expect. However, y'all, before y'all, because a lot of y'all believe that Tony Pollard is supposed to be the number one back. I don't know if this slipped past y'all or not, but on November 4th, and we're going to read this together because it's not going to take long. I saw an article, and it's not speculation at all. It's not speculation at all. I want to let you guys, let's read this together, and you'll understand why I'm doing it. And I'm about to do it right now. Let's look at this. Y'all see this? Y'all see this? Here's the article. Cowboys Tony Pollard said he was tired, done after 30 week 8 plays running back. And this is the reason why I'm reading this, because the running back coach said that. Notice the date if you can see that. If you can't, I'll tell you. For those that are on Podbean, I'm reading it to you. I know you can't see it at all. This is done by Adam Wells. It was written on November the 4th. We're talking yesterday. I want y'all to see this. The running back coach, listen to this. Fans and analysts puzzled by Dallas Cowboy running back Tony Pollard's limited usage might have more to do with his in-game stamina than Jerry Jones' obsession with Ezekiel Elliott. Now, let's just stop right there because a lot of you believe that he's just incredibly loyal to Ezekiel Elliott. I'm one of those that believe that as well. But this article brings out something totally different. Let's keep reading. Cowboys running backs coach. This is the reason why the article is legit. Because Cowboys running backs coach Skip Pete told Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star Telegram that Pollard said he was done after 30 plays in Sunday win over Chicago. Pollard played a total of 30 plays, and his running back coach said, I think that's his max as far as total play count, because then the juice doesn't become the same, and he's not as quick, not as fast. Pete said of the 25-year-old. This is running back coach talking, y'all. I really don't have to read anymore, but I just, because we get into the stats now. Let me go down and say, per David Hellman of Fox Sports, Pollard tied his career high with his career high with rushing attempts and rushing yards last week. It was also the fourth time in 8 games this season he's averaged at least 6 yards per carry. Pollard played more snaps in the previous game against Detroit Lions, which was 41, but he's only crossed the 30 snap threshold in 3 games all this season. The Athletics noted that 39, this kills a lot of y'all's perception of Tony Pollard can only run one way. The Athletics Ted Gwynn noted 39.5% of Pollard's rushing attempts since the start of last season have come against 8-man boxes. This was in response to ESPN's Member Kyles pointing out that Pollard ranks second among all running backs in yards per carry to tackles since 2021. Now, what they're saying is that when Pollard comes in, he don't see what Zeke sees as far as boxes. 39.5. He saw it last week, and he proved that he can run it. But let's go all the way to the back, up to the front here. This is the running back coach of the Dallas Cowboys saying Tony Pollard is only good for about 30 plays. Now, a lot of y'all want him to get the ball 25 times. What the running back coach is saying, he can't do it. That's not me talking. That's what his running back coach said. Now that may explain why. That may explain why this may cover last year as well, because we all thought, myself included, that Tony Pollard was supposed to get the ball a whole lot more. But according to this, which is probably the same story last year, and keep in mind, last year, he was getting more touches off kick return as well. He was our primary kick returner as well last year. So those count as touches as well. The times, of course, where he did, run it back. That counted as a touch. This year, he's not returning the ball at all. Seems like he ought to have a little bit more juice left. But he doesn't. But the coach said, Pollard said, I ain't got no more after 30 plays. That's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, I had to change my stance a little bit. That's why he's not a number 1 running back. Because, see, if another team pays him, like I said is going to happen, they're going to pay him according to ESPN. And what this article is saying is, he ain't got enough to be the man. He need a shift. He need a 2-man, like most backfields have now. He needs a 2 to 3-man system for him to be effective, which shouldn't be a surprise, because at Memphis, and I live here in Memphis, and I was here when he played at the University of Memphis and saw it. You got to keep in mind, He had Darrell Henderson, just in case you don't know who that is. Darrell Henderson is one of the running backs for the Rams. He had Antonio Gibson here as well in Memphis. Antonio Gibson, of course, plays for the Commanders. And then it was himself. So Tony has never been the man, supposedly. He's never been the man. He's never been the man. He's never been the bell cow. Yeah, he makes up a whole lot of yards real quick. There's no denying that. He's as explosive as it comes. He can take it to the house. But his running back coach just said, he ain't no good out of 30 plays. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, you're probably not going to see. That's why they were there. If you remember now, if you listen to a lot of the press conference from Coach McCarthy, Kellen Moore, that's why you heard them say this. They said, you know, we had a number for him. We had a number for him. Like they already know. They already know. That's why Malik Davis, a guy who hadn't played, I found it strange Malik Davis got the ball a whole lot. Usually they don't do that. And I understand that he was the second running back, but how many times? I mean, I didn't expect Malik Davis to get the ball as much as he did, but they didn't have no choice because they know Pollard is limited. That's why Zeke is still the man. Yes, Pollard is explosive. Yes, Pollard can get it done. Yes, Pollard can score. Yes, Pollard probably gonna have an average of 6 to 7 yards when this season is over with. He can do all that. But some organization and it makes you, and based off that, the Cowboys actually, I actually was thinking that, see, we had like Jerry and Steven are dumb. See, you can't get no $8-9 million a year, 7, even $6 million a year. You can't get that. And at the end of the season, when they look at your rushing yards, you got about 600, 600 to 700. And if you look at your receptions and yards, you probably got about an extra 200 to 300. You ain't getting no $8-9 million a year. You're not doing it. Maybe that's why they don't got them on a pitch count too. To keep them there. So when negotiation time, see, I don't put nothing past John. Y'all may think I'm reaching here, but I'm just telling. See, if you ain't got nothing but just those type of stats coming to negotiating table, you can't command $9 million a year. You can't command $8 million, 7. You can't even command 6. They'll look at you as if you are a all-purpose type dude. And all-purpose type dudes, unless you're Deebo Samuel, and Tony is not on that level. You know, I mean, he's not on that level. So Deebo is the only one that can, because Deebo changed. I mean, Deebo had to figure out how they're gonna pay him. See what I'm saying? Because there's no precedent for it, other than you had to go all the way back to maybe Percy Harv and other Vikings and the Seattle when he played the Seattle, that type of dude. I mean, Pollard ain't that guy. We don't give him the ball enough to be that guy. But what he did show during last week, and he ain't got to do it but one time, as far as I'm concerned. He got enough tape because he's done it before. Some team is going to dangle that big carrot in front of his face. And he's 25 years old. Your contract probably going to be 4 to 5 years. That's 28, 29 years old. Okay. This may be his only shot. You know, as a running back, that's it. You only get one shot at these type contracts. So you're gonna get as much money as he can. And I just don't think the Cowboys are gonna do it, even though they know he's valuable, even though they, if the Cowboys offer him $3 to $4 million a year, or somebody like the Jets or somebody like Jacksonville or whatever offer him 6 to 7, which one you gonna take? This probably be his only chance to get the contract. I'm saying he's not gonna be here next year. I see there's a slight debate. Miss Charles, I see you say you think he'll be here. I personally hope he does. Because of Zeke is just going down and down. We better have something that's going to shift it up. We better have something that's going to make the offense explosive. Zeke is not that guy no more. He's still effective. Oh, Zeke is still effective now. Oh, there's no question about that. He just can't do what Tony Pollard can do. And I guess at the same time, I guess an argument could be made and saying, well, Tony can't do what Zeke Elliott can do. That's what makes it great. That's what makes it great. Well, what's that? What's up, Smoke? I see you on here. What's up, Smoke? That's what makes it great. But I found this article so interesting because it shed light to me that answered about a 2 or 2.5, 3 year question. Why isn't Tony Pollard getting the ball? Why isn't he getting the football? And here's the answer. This comes from his running back coach. And they know Ezekiel Elliott, on the other hand, if we want to go that route, I believe there's a number that's established for Ezekiel Elliott. Because if you've been following me, my main question when it comes to Ezekiel Elliott was, why can't he get over 20 carries a game? I mean, you can count it on one hand in the last 3 to 4 years. How many times Ezekiel Elliott has carried the ball at minimum 20 times a game? And it's mind-boggling because he is a bell cow running back. And I'll be saying, like, okay, if he's a bell cow running back, how come he only got 13, 14 carries a game? I believe they know that Ezekiel Elliott is only good. Well, I ain't going to say that. He's better than that. Ezekiel Elliott can carry the ball 20 plus times. They just won't do it because the ball has to get to Pollard as well. So to fast forward to the rest of this season, that balance in that between Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard is going to be incredibly important. Me personally, I believe that we're going to. If it was me, but it's not me. They know the players better. I would start the game off with Pollard and just switch roles. Since both of them are only getting no more than 15 carries a game, just switch it up. Instead of Zeke getting 15 and Pollard getting 11, give Pollard the ball 15, give Zeke the ball 13. Make Zeke a short down, inside the 5-yard line running back. That's where he can go score touchdowns. We saw that the other week against the Lions. This is where Ezekiel can excel. Put a lot of points on the board. I'm going to be interested to see how Kellen does this. And with the temptation of Dak Prescott getting hot like he did against Chicago. That's what I'm saying. I just don't trust Kellen Moore, y'all. I just don't. It's like you got all these weapons and you don't know how to use them the right way. Why does Tony Pollard have to come in on the third series? Why is that? That's when he get his first touches. Why not get into the rhythm early like you just did against Chicago? The reason why it was like that is because Tony Pollard opens everything up. It would have been Zeke in there. It would have been Zeke up the middle, 2-3 yards, Zeke up in the middle, two yards, 3rd and long. And see, it's a big difference when Pollard touches it and your 3rd down is 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. Rather than have Ezekiel back there and your 3rd down is 3rd and 6 plus. It's a big difference. Why not start the game off with Pollard? That's just me. Okay. That's why I'm saying this is where the problem last year, one of the problems last year, and what has always been, one of the problems is that the Cowboys are so loyal to certain players that it actually is a detriment to the football team. You were loyal with Sean Lee, and you shouldn't have been. It was a detriment. You were loyal in those last couple of years with Jason Witten, when you know you could have got a more athletic tight end and one that can stretch the field a little bit, but you were loyal to Jason Witten. You're actually loyal to Tyron Smith. Everybody talking about he coming back. Well, if Tyler Smith is doing well, why are we gonna switch that up? Why? And what we moving back to guard? I mean, and when he's doing pretty well at left tackle, why are we gonna mess that up? That's because you loyal to Tyron Smith. And being loyal to certain players will get your butt kicked at the wrong time. They're talking about bringing them back in December or right at the playoff time. Listen to me. His first game don't need to be the playoff game. I'm sorry. You ain't got used to that speed again. You know, it look. I don't like Tyron Smith. But you know, we hang on too long. Yes, they were great players for this organization. Yes, they go into the Hall of Fame. Yes, they are great players. But look, enough is enough. At some point, you got to move on. It's kind of like Anthony Barr. Okay, let me go back to that. Okay, Anthony Barr is a solid linebacker. But ladies and gentlemen, if Damone Clark, and he finna get the chance, if Damone Clark is playing better, or you see a major difference in speed and tackling on defense, why are you gonna go back to Anthony Barr? He can just become part of the rotation. Stick the guy in there that's ready to go. Okay. Kay says, big time Dak about to bring another dimension his offense going forward. I guess you're talking about running, but let's just be honest with you. Every time Dak run, it scared me. It may not scare y'all. It scared me. Every time he get tackled, he get hurt. Soon as he got hit, soon as he went to the sideline on that big run, he fell down. Somebody stepped on his left hand. He cut, bleeding all over the place. You know, them cleats can break hands. I thought, you know, the way he was shaking it was the same way. He shook the right hand. He was out a whole month. He was shaking his hand like that again with his left hand. And I'm like, you know. So, I mean, but Cade, you're right. The threat of him, the zone read, which they ran, that's big. Because you didn't do that with Cooper Rush. You can't do it because nobody respects his running ability. You have to respect Dak's running ability. I'm in full agreement with that. But the reason why we, you know, when you go back, okay, Kay says, no, I'm talking about throwing, watching other teams safety starting to back up off the line. He's around. All thing I'm gonna say, Cade, is as long as they keep him in his comfort zone. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because by now, all these years, we know what Dak is. Dak is a short, intermediate thrower of the football. He can throw deep. Now, before y'all jump on me, he can, but that's not really his game. His game is throwing slants and up the seam to tight ends. And another dimension that we did see a couple plays is what we should be doing is throwing to running backs. Get them in space, especially somebody like Pollard. Get them in space, throw it out the backfield, and let's go to work. I'm only seeing, I don't know. Now, look, all I'm seeing, the wide receivers run, and it's been this way a couple years. Notice the routes that we run: slants and crossing routes. That's it. Every now and then you'll see a comeback route. Dak don't really throw to the numbers. Dak is lethal throwing slant routes, crossing routes. We don't run no dig routes. A dig route is where you're outside the numbers. The wide receiver run up the field or cut across the field. Those are called dig routes. We don't run no post routes. I mean, come on. We run go routes, and that's usually just a gallop. CD will catch one. CD will catch a lot of balls with people trailing, which is his strength, is run out the catch. Where if you run a crossing route and the man is behind him, you're going to have a real good shot at CD making a big play, which is what you've seen. The play action games there. Dak loved the tight end. He throws short, intermediate, in other words, from 0 to maybe about 10 to 12. Dak Prescott will lead the NFL in passing. Is where you start throwing 12, 13 yards plus is what Dak is not as good as he is throwing it. But this is what we've seen. This is what he did at Mississippi State. This is really what he's did since he's been with the Cowboys. And nobody ain't stopped it. I mean, they know the routes. I mean, slant route, crossing route. Shorts up the middle, a stop route. Schultz will run 6, 7, find a hole, just turn around, catch the ball, and this is what he do. This is what he do. We don't run no wheel routes. We don't run no pick routes. We used to run the bubble screen. I ain't seen that in a while. I mean, but we ain't done that. I wouldn't be surprised if that come back. We run the jet sweep. I mean, but I'm not killing because we're doing well with it. I'm just saying they're doing that because they know the skill set of Dak Prescott. He rarely throws outside the numbers, y'all. It's a reason why, because he's not as accurate as he is throwing inside the numbers. You can win like that. Hell, my goodness. I mean, Brady did that for 20 years. Won 7 Super Bowls throwing just like that. He did. You ain't never heard of a wide receiver other than Randy Moss in New England. Tom Brady won off tight ends. Gronk, Aaron Hernandez, Julian Edelman in the slot, Welker, Armadillo. I may be pronouncing it wrong. Danny Armadillo. I maybe you know what I'm talking about. This is who he threw to. You can't even name other than Randy Moss. I mean, name me a wide receiver that flourished with Tom Brady. Nobody. So you can win like this. You can win. You know, there's no question about that. And Dak does that quite well. I'm not knocking him for it at all. He does that well. I just wish we could be a little bit more creative rather than just having 2 routes. And that's what Kellen Moore coming to play. But we have a foundation, y'all, of winning. Or let me put it this way. We have a foundation of a winning style of how we need to play to win football games. Let's not detract away from it. Matter of fact, let's have more of it, which leads, and we'll get it all this next week. We'll get all this next week. I'm gonna be honest with you. We need to. We should kill Green Bay on the offensive side. But what Green Bay has is what is a problem for us unless we tighten it up. They got They got Dylan as a running back, and they got Aaron Jones. We have a problem against the run. I guarantee you that for the first time ever in playing Aaron Rodgers, I'm more scared of other people than Aaron Rodgers this year. And that sounds crazy. See what I'm saying? I'm more scared of Aaron Jones and Dylan running the football because the Packers ain't really got nothing to be scared of wide receiver wise. It's the running game that they have. They still are trying to make Aaron Rodgers the MVP again by passing a whole lot and ain't getting nowhere. Once they make the decision, okay, this is not your team anymore, Aaron, at least for this year. We're gonna go ahead and run the football. I hope it's not us that they go ahead and pick the game to try to implement that. And I got a feeling that's what's getting ready to happen because if you're gonna attack our defense, you attack us by running the ball. He's not as agile as he was. He's a pocket quarterback, and like I said before, a pocket quarterback is going to have a problem with the Dallas Cowboy defense. A 3-step drop, 5-step drop, 7-step drop quarterback. You're going to have a serious problem with the Cowboy defense. They're going to knock your head off. That's what's been going on. The only and make no mistake about it, the mobile quarterback have gotten hit as well. It's just not as often as those other guys. So it's no quarterback safe. But if you just a pocket quarterback, oh, you gonna get it. That's why I say I'm confident in as we get closer to next week, this week, and of course we're on the bye. But as we get ready for Green Bay, this year is the year where I say finally, this ghost of Aaron Rodgers may finally get off our back for 1 year at least. That's why I'm saying we have the formula, but we got to stop the runs. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. But overall, it's hard to argue with 6-2. Kellen Moore has done what he was supposed to do. I was shocked. Okay. Coach McCarthy deserves a lot of credit as well because he did work his butt off as well with 6-2. Dan Quinn, I don't know what we're going to do about him. I'm talking about Tony Pollard leaving, but good Lord. Anybody to get fired, Dan Quinn's name is going to be there. And sooner or later, Dan Quinn and Jerry said we made sure that we kept him. In other words, they paid him a lot of money to keep him there as a defensive coordinator. Well, sooner or later, somebody's going to want to be in charge. It's going to be kind of hard to turn down a head coaching salary, and you got control of the franchise. And Dan Quinn is an excellent head coach, a motivating head coach. I just can't see him, and everybody going to want him this year. I just can't see him. I don't see him staying. I hope he do, because he's the reason why this defense is what it is. I hope he does. I hope he stays. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. But that's later down the road. This year, the defense will only get better. This is one of the fastest defenses that we've ever had. And it's only going to get better because of Damone Clark in there. It's going to even get better, y'all. I'm going to tell you another one you need to watch. Mr. Bland, the cornerback that's replacing Jordan Lewis right now, who's out for the season. Bland is only going to get better. Quick as lightning. Would knock your head off. This is all this stuff it's going to, you put it this way, you're going to have to trick us with our eyes, because when it comes to speed, this may be one of the fastest defenses in the whole league. No question. No question. No question. We got a lot to be excited about. Dak, if everybody thought Dak supposed to have came back and threw for 400 yards the first game, shame on y'all. The man played ball in the whole month. Just don't get up in the NFL and just come out and throw for 400 yards. You don't do that. So Dak is just now getting back his rhythm. Practice is easy when you throwing against air. You know what I'm saying? The receivers aren't being covered. You're not being rushed. You don't get happy feet because you feel something around your ankles and your leg. You ain't got that. See what I'm saying? Dak is just still getting back into his rhythm. I wouldn't be surprised, y'all. As we all know, Dak got a whole football field at his house. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of guys is at Dak Prescott house for the bye week to make sure that they stay on point. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on with Dak. I wouldn't be surprised if he got all his receivers there and then all of them are there. My understanding is I heard that Coach McCarthy say that even in the bye week, everybody's still going to be, in the facility. They ain't going on vacation. Guys coming in, lifting weights, they come in, get their meals, they come in, get their treatment. They ain't taking the bye week off. They just not playing. So that's that. These guys are locked in. They know what they have to do. Huh? Yeah. Cade says, I still think we need more proven depth at wide receiver at the very least. Well, the name that comes up is Odell Beckham, and that's a big question mark because you don't know, you got to see him run. You got to, there's too many question marks for me. What is condition of his knee? Is it ready? Even if you do get him in November or December, early part of December, is he going to even be ready? That's depth. There's some more receivers out there that could add the depth to it. But as Stephen Jones said, if y'all saw his interview, we like our guys. That's what it boiled down to. Even though he didn't get cooked, he said, we like the development of what we've done. And he said, and he already saying, James Washington is coming back. So, they're putting a lot of stock into James Washington showing up. So that's your 3. See what I'm saying? We already got it. James Washington. They just waiting for him to arrive. And then being 6-2 allows them not to be desperate as far as trying to go get somebody. They really are going to just roll and just wait for James Washington to get back. And they say, well, there our veteran is there. That's just the Cowboy way, Stephen Jones way. It is what it is. I don't get excited when everybody start calling names out because we don't never get them. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna give him. I see you, Mike. They're not gonna give him his request because they wanted something for him. They're just gonna let him go scot-free. I hope that's the case because then he'll sign and he won't, they'll let go of that contract. But if I'm not, I don't know if I don't know the situation on it because I'm not a Houston Texans fan. So I don't know the status of his contract. I don't know if he had to pass through waiver wire. I don't know because if he had to pass through waiver wire, we won't get him. Somebody else will get him real quick. But if it's just a matter of flat out cutting him and there's no restriction of any team that he can sign with, he'll be in Dallas the very next day. Yeah, I know he's not playing for him. That's obvious because he was a healthy scratch. I get that part, and if I was Houston, I wouldn't want him playing anyway because I know your heart ain't gonna be into it. But the question is, if you cut him, does that mean he has to go through waiver wire, or is it really a cut and dry? And I'm not aware of his contract. So if he gets cut and he can sign with anybody, yeah, I'm quite sure he might come to his knees if they let him go. I don't know. I ain't gonna look. See, I don't get excited about that because we never get them. So everybody use Dallas, you know. Brandon Cooks would be just one of them same ones to do the same thing, and you think he coming to the Cowboys, he'll be in the AFC North somewhere. So until I see it, until I see it come across my phone that he signed, I'm not even gonna get hyped. I heard Earl Watson all them years talk about wanting to be with Dallas. He had his chance. Soon as he had a chance, he went and signed on with Baltimore. See what I'm saying? So I don't get hyped. They follow the money, you know. So it is what it is. All right, I'm done. I'm pleased because we didn't expect to be 6-2. We're in great position to do damage ended with the end of the division and um, um, since right now, we have a chance to kind of lock in our wild card spot. What y'all say? Kay said Texas won the third. They can possibly become a second and fifth round edition. They wanted Dallas to take on the contract. There's reports of with the two teams, and Dallas did not like that. I don't blame Jerry. I don't blame Jerry and Steven for this one. It's either you gonna trade them or you're not, and if you gonna trade them, you can't dictate to us. Is he really worth all that? Obviously, the Jones family said no. We weren't desperate. We 6-2, 6-2 without him. Yeah, yeah. I'm not accepting calls. I ain't opened up the line yet. It's like somebody calling me. I ain't opened it up yet. So I'm not I'm not I'm not I'm not the greatest thing that happened was that we kept winning. We kept winning. And because of that, we're not desperate. I think nobody in the NFC scared me. Nobody. That includes Philadelphia. Philadelphia beat Cooper Rush. They didn't beat Dak Prescott. It is a difference, it is a difference. It's a huge difference. So I'm looking forward to if the game means something. Cause see, as long as Philly winning the Cowboys, if you really talking about winning the division, we can't afford to lose. To be honest with you, I mean Philly right now is up really 2.5 games over because they beat us head to head. So they already got 2 games. Then you got the head to head. They really you can almost say 3 games. So we can't afford to lose at all. As long as they winning like this. See? We got to stay right where we at. And then the Christmas Eve game becomes majorly important. But if we down 4 games when we play Philly, that game ain't nothing but it means something to us as far as a wild card goes and make sure that we're in a good spot for standings. But if Philly is up 4 games, that game ain't gonna mean nothing to them. Unless somebody's on their heels with home field. I mean, that's it. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But as of now, all eyes are on this bye week. Chill out. Hope everybody get better. Hope everybody get healthy as best as they can, and then we get ready for Green Bay. It's really that simple. I like where we at. All right. Now the phone lines are open. Now the phone line is open. We are all we need to do, because Cooper Rush did such a great job as game manager. Stack the wins. Stack the wins. I don't care who we playing. I don't care if it's by 1 point. I don't care if it's by 20 points. At the end of the day, we got to win. All right, let's see who this is.
Coach Mark.
Oh, I got my coach here.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
There he is. Let me turn his music down, ladies and gentlemen. I knew he was coming eventually. The one and only Coach Marv is in the building, y'all. Clap your hands for him.
What's going on, big time? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm trying to do the best I can.
Hey, man, I've been following you on Facebook, man. I hope your son, did they win their playoff game?
We got rained out, Coach. We got rained out.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they won the playoff game. The championship game was supposed to be today, and they got rained out. So the championship game gonna be either Tuesday or Thursday. I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
Actually, I was supposed to coach today, so I was really juiced up. Ain't no question about it. I'm ready.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm rooting for you, man. Let me unpack some stuff here, man. I'm so disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed Cowboy fan. I don't believe, big time, that all the stuff we've been preaching for months, from this show, some other shows, you know me, West Coast, we've been preaching that, and we have been showing statistics. We have shown records for history, for recent history, for recent games, even games this year, last year, doing Dak Prescott time, doing Troy Aikman's time, doing even Roger Staubach, any of the great quarterbacks or the heydays that we have had. That, again, we have been motivated by having a great defense in those years that we've been good, motivated by committed to the running game and having a solid, great running game, and having quarterbacks that have made timely passes and not having 100 different receivers in a game. But we still say that we need receiver help. And we are clamoring the boards and say, oh, we need to get more receivers, man. We need to get Brandon Cooks. Yes, I'm not saying if these guys came further in our hands, we'd say yes to it, but in fantasy football, that would be great. Because when in fantasy football, you got more than one football.
Yeah.
But in the Cowboys, you bring a guy in here that may catch 1 or 2 passes a game.
Yeah. Not that much.
We're not going to bring a guy in here that's going to catch 10, 11 passes a game.
No. The number one receiver don't even catch that.
And let's look, and then this groundswell of we do it all the time. As soon as our player is in the spotlight, we get unrealistic expectations towards them, and we put unrealistic expectations on them, and we expect them to play like some supernatural type of guy and be well above of abilities. Because if we watch C.D. Lamb and we criticize him for drops, he hasn't dropped the ball since week 2.
Yeah, he way down the list too in drops.
He way down the list of drop passes based off targets. I love Mark Cooper. But Mark Cooper is what I have said. I'm not discounting Mark Cooper. Mark Cooper is a hot one the game, cold next. Hot one game, cold next. That's his career has always been.
It is what it is.
And he dropped the ball too.
Yeah.
He hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
But this is what gets me. When you have a team where Dak when you have a solid running game and he throws the ball when he's at his perfection between 25 to 30 times, how many guys you think if you get 5 wide receivers, how many balls you think they're going to get?
Man, look, Coach, the leading receiver on this team, when it's all said and done, and if he's not, it's only because he wasn't there. And the leading receiver on this team is going to be Dalton Schultz. That's who's going to have the most receptions when it's all said and done, because Dak is so comfortable with him, it's wide open. He ain't going to have the yards that CD or something will have, but that you got to know what your team is. You can't keep adding all these all pros and think all of a sudden everybody will get 3 1,000-yard receivers. That ain't gonna happen. Not with Dallas.
Because what that says to you, Big Show, is this. And I ask our fans, as many times we have showed them, as many times it has showed in games, as many times we have given them records and stats, as how Mike McCarthy said, that the 2 main people on this offense, there's 4 main people on this offense, and then everybody else will do greatly. But the 4 main things is this offensive line, those 2 running backs, and Dak Prescott.
There you go.
And then everybody else will eat as they eat.
Yeah.
And if that's not the case, you can bring in all the receivers you want, but you have to understand that you have an offensive coordinator that may be pass happy, but his passing concept is not so complex where his passing route trees and his combinations are so great. And then let's think about this. How long we have had Tony Pollard?
4 years.
4 years. And it's taken us still 4 years, and we still ain't figure out how to use Tony Pollard. So if you bring in Cooks, or you bring in Odell Beckham, you think that they're gonna learn how to use them in a couple of weeks?
Nope.
So where we going at is we have to understand that the national media and the people inside the building want to put this on Dak Prescott because they want to force him into doing something that they know that he is not. This is not no crack against Dak Prescott. It's about putting him in a situation where he is not as they know when the Cowboys are cooking. When the Cowboys depend on both of those running backs to control the game and the play action pass, and you still have to worry about Dak Prescott hurting you with the arm, but they're physical up front and they're committed to run the ball, they understand that we are almost very hard to beat with a defense that we have.
Yeah.
So they'll be so happy to say, oh, man, oh, yeah, you don't think they'll want to spread these rumors about, oh, the receivers are not that good, because they want you to get into the game plan that you have been unsuccessful for many years of trying to do. And then we get to our own fans are more about want to be exciting than to win. Let's just point blank about this by the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't care what other receivers they bring in, they're going to get 1 or 2, maybe 4 or 5 balls a game. The majority, the 10, 11 catches is going to Kelsey.
On Travis Kelsey.
Everybody else is going to get a couple of passes here and there.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
And we have that guy. We got that guy. We're going to shoot down a guy for being the number 1 receiver in 8 games, and 5 of those have been with a guy that is not even a starting quarterback in this league.
Yeah.
Are we really serious, people? Yeah. We have let people denigrate our people because of the fact the Dallas Cowboys let their own organization release reports because they don't want to pay CeeDee Lamb. So they're trying to sully his name, and they'll point out stuff or they'll say they ain't got no confidence in him, and we fall right into it. And I say the same thing about Ezekiel Elliott that I would say about CD Lamb. Let them go and see what happens.
Exactly.
Let them go someplace else and see what would happen.
Yeah.
So we have the formula here, and we talking about weapons. We got two young tight ends along with Dalton Schultz that can give teams problems because tight ends that can catch, that can block, are a problem. We have a great wide receiver in CD Lamb, and if we want to talk bad, if Brown, Noah Brown is not hurt, he got to put this be back. He is having a great year.
Yeah, exactly. That's why the wide receiver talk. The way they looking at it is James Washington coming back, Noah Brown coming back. Let's roll. They ain't thinking about nothing else. Come on now.
They understand that they got the offense. If they believe that their offense runs through their running back, they feel that they have enough wide receivers to be able to do what they need to do to be successful. And we have to understand that we can build a wide. And I hear people talking about where we get one of them guys get hurt, we don't have nobody. Let me tell you something. If Kelsey get hurt in Kansas City, they can have all those other guys. They done.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If somebody receiver get hurt, they're done. Yeah. They can have the bench or whatever, but they're done. So this is what we need to depend on. We have a defense that is the main thing that we need to worry about and want us to be successful. And I know this doesn't sound exciting. This doesn't sound sexy, but this would grant this and believe Coach Mars when he tell you this. We have to find some way to rein in the time of possession. We cannot allow, like we had last week with our defense on the field, 36 minutes. If our defense continue to play between 32 to 35 minutes a game, when it gets down to the end of the season, we're going to see guys dropping like flies, and we're going to see our guys hurt, and we're going to see Michael Parsons on the sideline. The reason why we're seeing Michael Parsons on the sideline, and we wonder why he's on the sideline so much with many plays, defensive great players are only made to play. They only really can give their top-notch thing about 50 plays. Yeah. When we're running 80 plays on the defense, he can't go 80 plays in the NFL with running around the field. No. So you're going to see him on the sideline 30 plays, and some of them plays might be very crucial plays. Yeah. If our offense can control the ball for 32 minutes a game, yeah, and be productive and score one touchdown per quarter, yeah, Big Show, we will be almost unbeatable.
We're gonna win 13, 14 games easily.
And in the playoffs, that philosophy is the formula for winning Super Bowls.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So let's find out, fellas. That's why I ask our fans. We preach about it, and we have so many people comment, and they got on board. But they're just looking for one reason to jump off board to go back to pass happen. We talk about Kellen Moore, but Kellen Moore is only doing what the fans really want him to do. Because if we jump off this plane now, yeah, we're just giving in to what he wants us to do, and he can always go back and say, well, they wanted us to be explosive.
Yeah. And we've been begging for it. And
thank you.
We've been begging for it, and so far, he's done it. He's done exactly what we asked him to do so far.
And then when we beg for something else, because we feel that, oh man, we keep thinking about, I hear people talking about, well, where's that time when we get to a game and we get behind and we got to catch up? Well, if our offense is consistent, I don't think it's going to be too many times our defense is just going to open up the dike and let people just run wild on us.
No. I don't think that's the case. That's why I believe this bye week coming at the right time. You give Dan Quinn to sure it up a little bit more. They give Rankins and Damone Clark. They get them the chance to get sped up real quick because we're gonna depend.
If they talk about anything they want to hear, See, this is what kills me. But see, I watch film, and I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna say this right quick. If you watch film and you watch the receiver core, I want the people to go back from the Detroit game through this last game. If you watch film, you'll find out that CeeDee Lamb was open more than what you think it is, but the ball went to other places because those guys were open.
Yeah.
But if he got 11 or 12 targets, he would have had even bigger numbers in this game. And I also want you to watch something else. Damone Clark played a very good game. There's very good potential in him. And I understand the pundits always want to say this, but film does not lie. LVE is not a linebacker in this league. If LVE was to get cut right now today, I'm telling you what other teams will. He will be on the street for a long time.
Yeah. Wow.
Because making a spark play here and there for a guy that's physical, if we had a physical presence at the middle linebacker that will attack, there's a lot of these runs that will not be going. Running game is stopped by a coordination between the defensive line and linebackers. And if one is not aggressive, the others suffer.
That is where I believe Clark will fill that gap. The question is, will we be loyal to LV?
Well, if we got somebody hurt, Clark will come in.
Yeah.
Barnes hurt. Clark come in, and I don't know what's going on with Cox.
Yeah.
But they may not be forced. They may be forced to put him on the active roster and to give him some playing time to either use his speed and his aggressiveness.
Yeah.
But I know why this is. People, Big Show, let's be honest, and I know that I don't want to start no controversy. They're not trying to let nobody see no other combinations because they understand. We understand. I'm telling you what's gonna happen. If people get a good taste or a long series or a game of those linebackers in the game, and LVE not there, there will be nothing that we gonna be able to say for them to say to bring him back.
Yeah. Yep. Ain't no doubt about it. It's no question.
Great show as always, Big Show. I appreciate what you do, man.
Thank you, man.
And good. I'm praying and good luck to your son in the game and kudos to you, man, for being a part and being involved, man. Enjoy these times. You only go down this road one time, man, so enjoy it to the utmost.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for calling in, Coach. We'll do it again.
All right, Coach.
All right, now.
All right, now.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only Coach Maul. You already knew. When he called in, you already knew it was going to be some fire. You knew that. So, really ain't no surprise. Basically, we all saying the same thing. I guarantee you, if I could ask every one of y'all that's watching, we all have somewhat of the same stories. My only question is and maybe that's me not being optimistic, but I've been burnt by Kellen Moore too many times, so I ain't. I'm sorry. He made me this way. I'm really just hoping that because Dak got hot, and even in that, Dak didn't throw the ball 30 times, y'all. Dak still under 300 yards passing. He didn't throw it 30 times. So he did the same. So Moore, at least on that day against the Bears, did the same formula. Remember, we were trying to keep Rush under 30 times a game, kept Dak under 30 times a game. My only question is, can you keep it up? Are you going to stay loyal and committed to the running game no matter what? You may have a game like we had against Washington where you couldn't get nowhere, but the commitment to the run was there. That's the only thing, that the thread of the run is there. It opens everything up. It's kind of common sense. I hope that Kellen Moore and his play calling does well. One last thing about Kellen Moore because y'all know me. Y'all know I've been lighting him up for years. I got to give him credit because for the first time against Detroit, the Detroit game, not Chicago. Of course, he didn't play that game. But you can even do it against Chicago because Pollard got it. Inside the 5-yard line against Detroit. Weren't y'all proud to see Kellen Moore just line up with a fullback and just line and just give the ball to Zeke instead of doing the goddamn shotgun and spread formation? Weren't y'all just glad that's how Zeke scored them 2 touchdowns? Because you finally you finally figured out how to use Zeke and how you supposed to have used them instead of lining up out there. If y'all remember the Detroit game, this a few weeks ago, on 2 occasions inside the 5-yard line, they went ahead and just lined up just all the linemen and just put one fullback in, gave the ball to Zeke, and just let him just fall forward. I mean, these are touchdowns that, in my book, is you know we got a better chance of making rather than do all this shotgun stuff. I was proud of Kellen Moore for that. I was. He did it last week against the Bears. Pollard inside the 10-yard line. Pollard was shifty enough to break a couple tackles and get in. One of them was untouched, and he was able to do all that. So it's amazing, just a little small stuff like that just opens everything up. Mike Evans, says, I think we'll find out next week against Green Bay. They have a chance to blow out the Packers with Mike McCarthy throwing the ball. I think he will. I'm gonna be honest with you. The cold key to the game to me, as it always is in the trenches. The question is, can we stop Aaron Jones? Because I believe Green Bay done figured this thing out. We need to have a whole different uh, mindset about how we run this offense. We trying too much to make Aaron Rodgers the MVP of the league, and that ain't working because he ain't got nobody really to throw to. So he's looking like he looks or whatever. So we got to throw everything short. They throw bubble screens. They throw little flare passes. They do all that. They don't hardly throw down the field because they ain't got nobody really. So the question is, can we stop Aaron Jones and Dylan? Because I got a feeling they fit to try to run the ball down our throat. We're going to find out in about another week and a half if there's been some type of improvement. I just really feel like that if we're going to finally beat Green Bay this year, we got to do it. And we need to beat them. We need to beat them. We need to beat them. We need to, we right now, I worry about Philadelphia when it's time for Philadelphia. Like I just said before, if they keep doing what they're doing, that game there, it ain't gonna mean nothing really to them. It's gonna mean a whole lot to us because we got to make sure that we at least get the 5th seed. You got 4 division winners. We need to be at least the 5th seed. We do. We need to be at least the 5th seed. We don't need to be barely getting in. So we need to win. Every game is important because Philly has won every game so far. So it's really all about stacking as many wins as you can get. That's really what it's all about. Stacking as many wins as you can get so that when playoff time come, if you in the 5th seed, see you and the Cowboys can beat anybody. I'm not big because I'm a Cowboy fan. The way that we play right now, we can beat anybody. Anybody. That includes your Buffaloes. That includes your Kansas Cities. That includes your Miami the offense that Miami have. That includes beating them up. We already destroyed Cincinnati. Where else you want to throw up? The way we play defense and the way that our style of game is, I'm telling you right now, we can beat anybody. The defense is that potent. We can beat anybody as long as we play the way we're supposed to play. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. I got to do another show tonight. If Freddie Henderson is on here, I'm supposed to be doing another show tonight, I believe, real soon at 6:00. So it's a sports talk show. I'm gonna be going all over the place. NBA, more football, other teams. So y'all be on the lookout. I'll share it on my page later this evening. So I got a little busy day ahead. As for now, I'll see you guys on Monday at 7 p.m. We'll continue on, and while we're on this bye week, and let's talk about some other things that we need to do for the Cowboys to maintain where we are, which is on the right side of the track. That's the bottom line. We're winning, and that's all that counts. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody hanging with me. By now, you know all the ways to contribute to the podcast is right there for you. You see it all right there on the ticker. Most of you have already done it, but if you have not, make a decision and help your boy out. If you don't mind, help your boy out. I appreciate everybody hanging with me. Y'all know what to do now. It's time to go. So, when we leave out partying. Y'all know. Let's go ahead and get them clap emojis going. Let's go ahead and get it done. Who's let me see on Podbean? Is this, let me see. Smoke still here. Smoke. You don't gonna put you since you the only one in the building for now. I had some more people in here. But it look like you the last one left. Go ahead and hang with me and go on throw that clap emoji out there for me, brother. Go on throw it out there. Cause y'all know we finna jam our way out here. Go on, crank it up. I ain't nobody put up the clap emojis. Yeah, y'all know how I am. Come on now. Let's go. If y'all don't, there you go, Joe. Joe is all I need. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. And since Joe has done that, we gonna go on get out of here. Thanks for it. There you go, Smoke. Appreciate you, brother. Oh, I can get on out of here now. All right, I'm out of here. Thank y'all for listening to me. I'll see you Monday. Yeah, turn the lights out, Smoke, for me. Thank you. Turn the lights out for me. Appreciate y'all hanging with me. Again, I'll see you Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time for the one and only, y'all. This is and this has been the Big Time Show.